Hi, very good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Agile Scrum track another day. And before we get started, let me quickly ask one thing. Anyone who is here for the first time attending the session? Is it your day one? Anyone? All right, I'll take this silence as no. And as you all know that we are here not just only for training. Training is just a medium that will enforce your placement. Okay, and that's the very reason we are all here. And to get placed, we need to have a continued force that will continue to create the momentum for us. And that is only possible once we follow certain discipline. And for that very reason, we have created something special. And do you all know what is that?
Code of honor.
Code of
Code
honor.
of
That's
honor.
absolutely right. Thank you so much for uh, remembering this and letting me know. Let's get reminded what are those code of honor. I'm going to share my screen. Kindly confirm once you can see the screen. Okay. And
Yes.
after this, okay, thank you so much. So after this, Prerna, I'll hand over to you so that you can share your screen and you can take get started, and then I'll
Yeah,
join.
hi Gaurav. Good morning.
Yeah,
Good evening, guys.
good
I'm
morning.
joining from my laptop. Just give
Yes.
me host rights in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So I'm also continuing to allow others while others are joining in. All right, people are still joining. No problem. So, okay. So code of honor is a ground rule, is a discipline that we need to remember. The very one says that show up live, because we are following Agile BS Scrum. Agile is full of ceremonies and it requires you to be on time, remain punctual, and remain highly committed. And considering this training itself as a project, you need to follow this, because once you practice this here, you may simply replicate it once you get placed there in the corporate of America. And what else? It is also said that how you do anything is how you do everything. I have learned this from one of my mentors, and there I learned that literally once you start following this, it will be quite easy for you to follow once you get placed. The second code of honor says this, that because you are starting this journey as a student, don't just be a student, be a full stack student. What do we mean by full stack student? Full stack student who does all the assignment, do self-research and repeat whatever they learn. And I am really liking the way you are sharing your videos, and soon you will see that your videos will be clubbed with the other videos where your summary will be used. It will be aired on YouTube Guru School channel, where other recruiters are there, and they will be also preliminary, they will have a judgment about your growth, and from there you may get some vendor interview invite. So this is for that purpose as well, and that happens gradually, of course. And yeah, so a full stack student is the one who does all the assignment. I mean to say the said and unsaid. So you had experience last time what is said, what is unsaid. Unsaid is always you have to come up with whatever you have learned. You are going to summarize and share back in a less than 90 seconds of video in a WhatsApp group, and then do self-research and repeat whatever you have learned. Third one is the take full responsibility of success as well as your failure, because once you take the responsibility of failure, that becomes the trail for the success, and ultimately it get you a push towards success. And to do so, it really requires a concrete mindset of a learner. So be a lifelong learner. Positive mindset. To do so, you must have the positive mindset, and more positive mindset you will have, you will find yourself going more complaint free. More complaint free you will go, you will find yourself loaded with the gratitude. Gratitude is happiness, is today's new productivity. So that's the reason you must have this mindset. And but to start with such mindset, because of Agile, because Agile has got three pillars of mindset, soft skill, and intent. So we need to work on this. The fifth one demands you to have such mindset. You need to start increasing your receptivity from the day one, from the morning itself. And for that very reason, I come up with the 30 days challenge of 140 minutes of audio program that you need to listen to it daily repetitively. The same audio program that is 40 minutes long can be consumed within 20 minutes by putting it in 2x mode, especially when you are running, walking, or jogging. That time you can do that. And in case you are going to miss any day or skip it any day, so you will have to start it from the scratch, from the day one, and then complete 30 days. So it is going to benefit you? This is going to benefit you to impact on your every day-to-day activity positively, and you will start sensing the changes, even the minute changes towards the outcome, and it is always going to be in your favor. So that you need to sense. For that, you need to complete this 30 days challenge, and the link of this audio program you can ask me after the DM, after the session, and I'll be happily sharing that with you. Apart from this, there is a way to start the deep learning. We are getting into deep learning. So remember to follow golden quadrant of learning. Golden quadrant of learning says that start any deep learning. Before that, you do declaration with the anchor. Why declaration with the anchor? Anchor is something that will hold something tight and tall, like for your focus, anchor is required. Focus is just like a tall ship. Without any anchor in the ocean of thought, there are chances it may get lost. And for that very reason, we are going to give that focus bodily anchor, and that is going to be body movement. And here we give it in the form of self hi-fi or clap, and then get into deep learning, and then draw within 24 hours whatever you have learned, and then summarize it in less than 90 seconds of video. So let me quickly ask, are you all ready for the quick declaration, everyone, with the anchor?
Yes.
Yes, everyone?
Yes.
All of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So because I am just listening 3-4 voices, that's the reason I am just repeatedly asking. So all, are you there with me? Everyone, unmute and speak. Yes. Thank you so much. So
Yes.
at the count of 3, you're going to repeat what is selected on your screen after me. Okay. So at the count of 3, after me. So 1, 2, 3, and clap and repeat. I'm a quick learner.
Quick learner.
I'm a quick learner.
What others can
Like
learn
you
and
can do
master,
that.
What others can learn and master,
I too can do that.
I too can do
can do that.
One more time, you are going to repeat after the clap, after the self hi-fi, and after I repeat, after I'm done, you need to repeat after that. Okay, so let's get started. 1, 2, 3, and one more clap and repeat. Because I'm an awesome
Because I'm an
learner.
awesome learner.
Because I'm an
I'm an awesome
awesome
Today's
learner.
learning is going to be
learning is going to be
His learning is
super
going
duper
to be
Learning is
easy.
going to
super
be
duper easy to
super
me.
easy to me.
Exactly, it is going to be super duper easy for you because just now you said so. And remember, the sixth one is very important. That says that on this path of learning, be the giver. Remember to be a giver, because you come back with the loads of learning and experience. Someone is with 5 years, 8 years, 7 years, and 13 years, and 26 years, and some are with even 30 years. So what to give away? So first, give away the small ego, which can become the hindrance, a big hindrance on the path of learning. So when we keep our ego away, it opens the path of learning. It opens the horizon of the path of learning, and it keeps you spiritually grounded on the path of growth. Spiritually grounded means your happiness level increases. And as I said, that happiness is today's productivity that is demanded by each project in the corporate. And that's the reason you need to follow this. And while you are doing this, you will start learning and earning. And when you are not already earning, at least have this intention after you get started your earning. And in case you are already earning, then start following this intention, that is to do a charity, that is to give away 5% or 10% of your earning, because it is said that what you give, that comes back in multifold. So what and especially when it comes to giving. So when you give, you grow, and when you receive, you may survive. And I'm sure none of you are here mostly for survival, but for the growth. So if you want to get more out of what you are going to give, that is going to grow. And that's the reason. So have an intention of giving away 5% or 10% of your income, and you will see its impact on your income as well. And just don't give away for the sake of growth, but also to inspire others in your community, in your surrounding. And while you're doing so, appreciate what you do, what others do for you, and even what does not happen to you, because what you appreciate appreciates you back. Having said so, let me quickly tell you the days how we are going to get connected. We are going to connected on every Sunday 9:30 p.m. We are going to connect every Monday 9:30 p.m. EST, and we are going to get connected. Yeah. So and then you need to do RRP session on Tuesday. No technical session on Tuesday, because there will be time overlap sometime. Wednesday, do your assignment. Okay. Thursday, again, there will be no assignment, because your focus should be towards the RRP session. And Friday is going to be your assignment for day 2. And then Saturday, you can relax, you can do research, repeat whatever you want to learn, and do assignment and question and answer. Is it clear how it is going to be for you from the next week, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Any question around it?
Yes.
Any? Okay. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Thank you so much. So if it is clear now, so let's get started. And I'm going
Hi,
to,
Gaurav. I have one question.
yeah, Medhavati.
So there would be no session from next week on Tuesday.
Okay, so it is going to be only Sunday and Monday technical session. Okay,
Okay.
because when this Tuesday is your RRP session, Thursday is your RRP session, so we are not letting it overlap. Okay.
Okay. So like, will the training get extended for 1 or 2 more weeks?
No, it won't. It won't, because most of the things initially we have covered. Okay, so
Okay.
you won't require it. Okay, in case at
Okay.
all it requires, we always are there. So you will experience the more extra sessions sometime. So everything will be covered. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
You're most welcome. So Prerna, I have made you co-host. Have you joined from your this laptop as well? Let me know, please. Yeah, she has joined from her laptop as well. So I'm making her co-host. Yes, Prerna. So you can share your screen. And I hope you can hear me, and you are on mute. So we are not able to hear you.
Yes, Gaurav. Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gaurav, I'll be starting with the sprint review with best quality, right? That is what I just wanted to confirm the continuity.
Let me quickly share with you from where we can
Yes.
start.
Yeah.
Just a second. Let me
That's
share.
good. Enough.
So this is from where we can start. It was in week 2, day 2. Okay, and it has 3 slides, and after that we can get into the day 3. Okay, I hope you saw that. And in day 3, we have sprint planning. So sprint planning, some of the slides would be depicted in that. So let me quickly show you the sprint planning slide. I'm talking about this. Okay, I'm just going to stop it. Screen share. So let me know, Prerna, once you are ready. Yes. I'll back in some
Yeah,
time.
sorry, I was again
Yeah,
on mute. I
no
don't know why it's going on mute.
Okay,
I
no
said,
problem.
yeah, is my screen visible, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 It's readable for all of you?
Yes.
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 Yes. Give me a second. Okay. So is my voice clear? I'll just get my earphone.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Prerna, you're good.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So if you remember in the earlier sessions, we will, kind of take all the events in detail in upcoming sessions. You remember that?
Yep.
When you were asking what is a sprint review and what is a sprint retrospective, I think we had a in detail discussion a day before with James and other people on this.
Yes.
You guys remember that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Great. So these are the sessions wherein we have dedicated entire slide for each ceremony. Okay. So starting with the first ceremony, that is a sprint planning that we'll be learning. And after that, we'll go one by one in the each ceremony. Okay. So what I want is, I want two people rather, I would say. One person would read till attendees and the next person would read tips and tricks because there are a lot of things to be mentioned. So I can see Rekha has raised her hand. So Rekha, you can start with ceremonies till attendees and then other person can go ahead with tips and tricks. Okay, go ahead, please. I can see
Four,
Rekha
four,
and Ankita. Yeah, go ahead.
four Scrum sprint planning. Purpose, create the sprint backlog and identify the sprint goal that the entire Scrum team is committing to over the course of the sprint. Attendees, the entire Scrum team.
Okay, next person, tips and tricks.
So tips and tricks encourage the team to discuss and negotiate each item related to the sprint goal. Sketching can be helpful. Second point, ensure the product backlog has been ordered and completed by the product owner before sprint planning begins. Third point is once the sprint goal is set, it can be broken by product owner, but should remain relevant throughout the course of sprint.
Thank you for reading it out. Okay. So now we are, as you can see, we are starting with sprint planning. Okay. What is a sprint planning event? This basically means whatever we are going to work in the upcoming sprint that we will be deciding or planning. Okay. It is easy to understand the word sprint planning. And then how do we go ahead with sprint planning? So the purpose is create a sprint backlog. Okay, now let me go back to this diagram. Have you all taken a picture of this diagram? First of all, please tell me in yes or no.
Yes.
If no, then please
Yes.
say.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
And I
Thank you
drew
so
it.
much.
I drew it too.
Superb, very well done. When you draw it, you will have really a very good memory of it. So very nice. Well done. Superb. So what happens? See, this is I was trying to tell you. This is a product backlog. So this is like your entire year's syllabus in your school or college, and then from there, this is your one semester or maybe a unit test. Unit test syllabus. So same way, here it is saying create a sprint backlog. That means what you're doing, you have this entire requirement list or all the product backlog items. From that you take out some of the items and as per the priority given by the customer, and then you prepare a sprint backlog. So now it's easy. What is a product backlog and what is a sprint backlog? If
Yes.
somebody asks you.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
How would you put it into words? What is a product backlog and what is a sprint backlog? See, these are like typical interview or understanding questions. That's why I'm going in such detail. So can one or two people say what is the difference between a product backlog and sprint backlog?
Yeah, product backlog, they are the complete requirements.
Perfect. Yeah.
And sprint backlog is the one which product owner prioritize that they're gonna finish in that particular sprint. That
Product
comes
owner, let me halt you there. Product owner prioritizes as per the requirement of the customer. Okay.
Yeah.
Add that.
Yes.
Add those words. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Very well said, Pallavi. I'm really happy that you got the crisp of it understanding. So taking it forward, see, create the sprint backlog and identify the sprint goal. Okay. Now somebody might ask you, what is a sprint goal? Okay. And it is a very good, I would say, concept, theoretically and practically. So a sprint goal would be, or rather is, the amount of activity or the functionality that you have to achieve and deliver to the customer. It is called as sprint goal. I generally tend to give the typical example of Amazon or Facebook because they're easy to understand. So basically what it is, imagine you're working on a website like Amazon.in, similar website that your company wants. You're a customer and your company wants to have that website. And you know how huge Amazon is. Like I every time ask just to highlight that everybody knows how many products are there in Amazon. It is so big. So because it is such a vast website with so many products, as a customer, I have told the development team that right now, or you start with the kids section, kids, boys and girls. Okay, imagine both. So kids section, what will they have? They'll have clothes, they'll have shoes, they'll have accessories, they'll have games, they'll have books, study books, entertainment books, fun books, games books, whatnot. So all this section in the entire Amazon, you have to create in this sprint, assumingly. It is a very big task though. So that is your sprint goal. So do you realize what I've done? Whatever the activities that were given, from that activity, we have to derive a goal. Like we have to complete something, and that completion of activity or functionality is called as sprint goal. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So basically, when I say sprint goal, that means, during the sprint review, these items have to be completed, developed, and presented to the customer. Okay. It cannot be only theoretical or in the words. Got it? Everybody's is with me on this? What is the sprint goal? The sprint goal will be presented to the customer in the sprint review meeting or sprint review event. Right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And then the
Prerna,
attendees.
I'm sorry to disturb, but this
Mm.
part I'm not clear. If you could explain it again.
Yeah, no worries, Rekha. Basically, what I'm trying to say, see, as you saw from this product backlog, we have taken out prioritize item as a sprint backlog. Okay. So that is like all the activities that you will work in a sprint. In that sprint, there are some functionalities or there is some completion. Like what example I give you is Amazon.com website. If that is my entire project for a year per se, so sorry, in this sprint I'm planning on completing the kids section. And what all in kids section? Everything that you could think of. So that is a chunk of that entire project. And why am I calling it as a sprint goal? I'm calling it as a sprint goal because this entire functionality will be presented to the customer in the client review or in the review meeting. That ceremony would come, sprint review. Okay. So bottom line is, whatever you have to complete in that sprint and present to the customer in the review meeting is your sprint goal. And every sprint generally has a goal. Or the sprint goal can be completion of 10 requirements. If you have per se 12 requirements given, just hypothetically I'm saying, and out of that 12, 10 requirements are the super high priority of the customer. So those have to be completed. So that can be also your sprint goal. Am I making sense? You understood now, Rekha?
Yeah, now I'm clear. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So basically, this is what we are learning. And attendees, if you see, guys, see, yesterday somebody asked me, does product owner join this meeting or is product owner there? So see, in the Scrum planning meeting, entire Scrum team. So now when I say entire Scrum team, not development team, guys, entire Scrum team, it includes everyone. It includes your product owners, Scrum master, development team, everyone. So when somebody asks you, who all attend the sprint planning meeting, the answer should be
product owner.
Entire Scrum team.
Entire Scrum team.
entire Scrum team. Yeah. And then somebody might ask you just to trick you or just to test you, that does product owner attends it? So you have to say yes,
Yes.
this is a very important and the first event in this sprint, or first ceremony in the sprint. So yes, he or she also attends it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
tips and tricks. The first is encouraging team members to discuss and negotiate regarding a sprint goal. And sketching can be helpful. Means sketching means a very quick drawing if they have to make for an architecture. Okay. Like I told you, remember when you build a house, you get the blueprint. Remember I had mentioned.
Yes.
Same way, we'll be also learning the flow diagram. So in IT, in our application, we also have this similar, not like the architecture type of diagrams, but similar type of diagrams where you understand, okay, now this is a user, he or she logs into the system. If the ID password is right, then he enters. If no, then they are redirected to ensure that they put in right password. So basically it's a flow chart or a simple design. See, because what happens, our development team and testing team is more interested in what is the design, how the application will look. So they just do it for their own comfort or understanding. But then encourage the team to discuss and negotiate each item related to sprint goal. Why this is important is because if you have if you have decided, or if a customer has asked you to complete a particular thing as a sprint goal, and you as a team are not in a condition or not in a situation to complete that, maybe because of any reason, a complexity, time is less compared to the development or whatever, you should raise that in the beginning. So now what they're doing, they have been given a goal, and then they're evaluating that will they able to complete it or not, or do they need to negotiate. See, the beauty of Agile is all the words, they are used so specifically, right? Here they haven't written bargain, they have written negotiate. Negotiate means if you think like tomorrow as a development team head or as a Scrum master, if you feel that this is something too complex to be completed in one sprint, you should really raise that. You will raise that internally first, and then with product owner, and then as a team, maybe product owner along with the BA, or maybe if it is a very severe and important thing, then definitely he will be involved, he or she. Otherwise, along with the BA, Scrum master can also communicate that to the customer. You get my point? So it's simply like I'll give you a very funny example. As a kid, if your mother gave you some task, okay, anything like water the plants, just mop the floor, do this and do that, and then you realize it is too much for you because you have also got some activities or studies to be done. Then you go to your mother and very politely you say na, that your mama, whatever, I have these many things, can you reduce my task per day? I have my, homework is quite huge or whatever. You see what you did? You went very smoothly and you negotiated with her. Didn't you do that? I mean, I used to always do that, but I used to end up doing all the household work, whatever my I told me. That's a different story. But still, negotiation, you see what we did? So same way, depending on the complexity, depending on the time, and depending on the number of activities, as a team, we are negotiating. Why I'm focusing so much on these these small tips and tricks also, because tomorrow when you actually go in an industry, in an organization, in a project, these things will be there. Okay, these things, these situations will occur if you are a BA, or if tomorrow you even start working as a Scrum Master. You would have such situation where you'll realize that, okay, no, the task in hand is really huge or really complex, and we will not be able to complete it. And what should we do? So yes, we should negotiate and go back to the customer as required. Okay, makes sense? Any doubts?
Yes.
Yeah, these are all practical things, guys. Ensure the product backlog has been ordered and completed by the product owner before sprint planning begins. What does it mean? Ordered and completed.
So whatever the requirements given by the customer or the client, it has to be there on the product backlog, so that when we do the planning or the meeting, so we should know what all is required, and then we can dig out the important, which is which customer demands, like prioritize wise, we can decide.
Very well said. Very well said. But instead of dig out that word, you can say we as a product owner, he prioritizes that.
Prioritize, yeah, sorry.
So the first part you said completely, absolutely fine. I would say rather perfect. I'm happy if everybody heard that. So what you mentioned is whatever are the requirements given by the customers, those have to be entered, or those have to be present in the product backlog. That is with respect to the completed completed product backlog. Okay, that means everything is there. And second and most important thing is, which is mentioned earlier, is has been ordered. Ordered simply means prioritized. So this is what, in our to-do list also, in office or at home, we always write the things which are essential at the top, which are like must do, and then additional thing that we have to complete, or we have to do. So same way, first thing is first, that all the activities have to be there. Second, they have to be prioritized. So thank you so much. And this has to be done before the sprint planning begins. Okay, so sprint planning session is not the time where you do prioritization. That time it is expected that prioritization is completed, and then the team would discuss on that.
Yeah.
Everybody gets this? Yes.
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 Yeah, remember this, because they'll ask you that what I would say, product backlog or sprint backlog prioritized during ceremony, during sprint planning. So you have to simply say that product owner has to ordered and complete that before the sprint planning meeting, because the team would discuss on these items during the meeting. Okay, it's very small thing, very minute detail, but very important one. Okay, yeah. The third point is sprint goal. Once the sprint goal is set, it can be broken by the product owner, but should remain relevant throughout the course of the sprint. Okay. This simply means, though you have a sprint goal of developing kids section, but how big is kids sections entire scope? Then how would a product owner will break it? He'll say, okay, we'll divide kids into boys and girls. We'll divide kids into accessories, clothing, shoes, books, games, and then each of the team member will be given particular task related to that particular department or that particular part. Make sense? I'm giving very relevant and very simple examples just so that you can link with it. You can visualize kids section, you can visualize kids clothing and accessories and shoes and books, right? So imagine if you have 5 members in the development team, every member is giving two departments to develop, and then they can come up. So it's like we cannot just say this, that we will develop the kids section. No, how will you develop the kids section? So this is how it is broken down. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me
No,
add
Prerna, can you
something.
repeat once again, please?
Yeah, I was saying that whatever sprint goal we have,
Mhm.
product owner will break it, or make it doable for everyone. Like it can be a task of, like, for example, I give example of Amazon, wherein you were developing kids section. Now kids section itself is so vast, right? It has so many things. So you break down that development activity, and you break down into kids clothing, kids shoes, kids books, kids accessories, whatever, kids games. and then you assign each. Okay, like for example, Rekha would take care of kids clothing. Okay, Priyanka would take care of, I would say, kids games. Shehnaz would take care of maybe the books part, or the study books part, anything, so in the next meeting, or day, or tomorrow's daily meeting, I will be checking with Rekha, have you started with the kids clothing section? Where are you on that? Are you facing any issues, or are you good with it? So you get my point, why it is
Yes.
important.
Yes.
Assigning the work, so he
Assigning.
or she is basically breaking it down and assigning it. Yeah,
Right.
perfect. Yeah. So on the same manner, let us go ahead with next.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, for example, will these sub-departments, as you said in the example of kids section in the Amazon, will those suggestions be given by the BA, Scrum Master, or the product owner, or should it go to the customer for those options?
Suggestions. Okay, that all comes from customer. That all comes from customer. See,
Okay.
you will not develop anything on your own. Okay. So for
Mhm.
it's like if you're cooking something at your home, if guests are coming, generally we do tend to politely ask guests, but do we follow their recipe, or do you follow your recipe?
Yes,
If you're
we
cooking
follow
something.
our recipe.
Yeah. So because it's a little different example, but then same, if a customer wants something, then he would tell, like, I want this and this, like this, though you are making it, but it is for customers, so definitely it will be a customer's ask. Like, it's something like, for example, if you're going to get your clothes stitched, like, so you will tell the tailor or the fashion designer, right, that I want this. So they will do it for you, but they will not do it from their own will and wish, right? They might suggest you, okay, we can do this, do that, but ultimately it's your choice, right? It's always our choice. So same way, yeah, always remember, customer is the king, and we are in business only because of them. So we listen to them, and we have to adhere to their requests and their demand. Not We can definitely suggest or highlight, but then ultimately whatever they ask is the thing that we have to go ahead. Yeah. Second and most
So,
important. Yeah.
Prerna, I'm sorry, one question. So, on the previous slide, we're saying once the sprint goal is set, so it's the product owner who's setting the sprint goal.
Product owner along with the team, everyone. It's not highlighted that only one person selects. See.
Okay. And the client is
See,
also
let me finish.
Yeah.
Create the sprint backlog, identify the sprint goal that the entire sprint team is committing. So basically, a sprint goal is generally given by the customer, right? You will, as a customer, ask that, okay, I want to get this done, and then you would just take it and discuss with the team. It's not that you will accept it, and if there is anything, then you negotiation. Remember this negotiation I was highlighting.
Right.
I'm just circling it. Yeah.
Right.
So work will always be prioritized and given, or highlighted by the customer. As a team, you have to ensure that you are in a capacity, you're in a place to deliver that. In case if there are
Okay.
any complexities, any hurdles, then as a team you should discuss, work on it, and if still not doable, you have to go back to the customer stating, this will not be doable, or we have to, like, cut it short, or we can deliver only 10 items out of 12, things like that. Okay.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so the sprint goal is decided during when planning for the product backlog items.
Sprint goal is already given, or it has been discussed, and we confirm it. See, we are committing to it.
Right.
You see the word. That's why take pictures of these slides, or whenever you are rewatching the videos, take notes of this in the same format. So such a beautiful screen, you have this sprint planning. What is the purpose? Purpose is you're committing, or you're confirming over the sprint goal. So everything is mentioned very beautifully and simply. Okay. I can see two hands raised, Anisha and Raksha. You have doubts or
Yes.
you wanted to read it out? Yeah,
No,
go ahead.
no, I have a question, Prerna.
Mm-hmm.
During this entire ceremony, let's say, like, you have given example about the Amazon kids section, right? Let's say,
Mm-hmm.
like, a customer has forgot that they want to add, let's say, socks for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And some, like, we are working on to, preparing that kids section. So in between, if they forgot to tell us about the socks, like, how that will be implemented in the project.
If they forgot about the socks and they come and tell you, and if the socks development is really not too much complex or it won't take too much time, then definitely you accommodate. Instead of socks, if they wanted to add something, science projects, science complex projects for kids, and that would have taken a lot of time, then you would have told them, okay, this is something new that you're coming up with now, and we would need some time, so this might not be done in the sprint goal. So
So this
how
is
you let
okay.
me finish. So how
Yeah.
you are doing it, if it is something, see, I mean, I mentioned earlier also, if a client comes and tells you, I want to change the color of my website, I want to change the font of my website, or there has to be one picture added. So these are apparently very small tasks and they don't take much time, neither they are technically complex. Okay. Very simple things. You can do such things definitely. But then if something is technically advanced, it will require a lot of time from your developers. You have to negotiate, especially if they're coming at the last. By the way, when they say they are coming at the last minute, that first question should be, is it a part of BRD? As a BA, your first question has to be, is it a part of BRD? Have you mentioned that earlier? If not, then we have to really study that. Will it involve more cost? Will it involve more time for my resources? Will it involve some additional skills or softwares that we don't have? So it's a very detailed process. If it is something as small as changing font, changing color, you can do it as a freebie or free cookie for your customer, just to strengthen your relationship and just to ensure that they don't feel that you are charging for everything. But if it's something complex, something new, something that was not there in BRD, please ensure you ask these questions.
Yeah.
Okay?
And yeah, sure. And second question I have, like, during this process, this is updating information, right? Like the new clothes comes, you have to keep updating, right? On the website. So who does that? Is also part of our job, or is it there is another team
What
who,
updating what? I didn't get your
like,
question. Sorry.
um, like for the kids section, like there is one brand, it's called let's say Puma, right? And they have like four different size of jeans, and now they are coming up with the two new pair of jeans, right? So that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
added to the added to the project, right? So that adding ongoing editing, are we like as a project owner, we are doing it like as a team, or there are another team who does it?
Your question is similar to what you asked. If it is something new that is not in BRD, we have to discuss on that. See, it's like you have some set of 100 activities to be done in 6 months. Customer can't keep adding everything at the last moment. And if they're adding, they might, and they're adding, and if we agree to it after discussion, after ensuring there is no budget or time constraint, they'll have to forego, or they'll have to let go of some of the other activities. And it's never last minute, it's always planned most of the time. If it is
No.
something urgent, then. And then you're saying adding in website and all, that's all web developers or development teams for. You would add that detail in BRD. You as a BA will not do anything technical unless there's basic testing. Make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my
So
question I
don't
think
worry,
was,
you don't have to go and do anything on that website. Website is just an example. It can be a web application also, it can be a phone application also. So you are not, as a BA, you are a complete functional person and you are only expected to do testing, and nowadays a little bit database fetching, that is SQL queries. Apart from that, you don't go into development activities unless you want to.
okay. Yeah, all
Okay.
right. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, let's welcome. Let's move to next. We need to complete this. So I'll
Can
just
I
take the
ask a question?
ceremonies. Yeah, can I just ask you to wait? Let me finish the ceremonies, because when I'm explaining the ceremonies, you might get your answer while explaining the other ceremony. Okay. So let us finish this, and then I'll take the all the doubts at once. So yeah, I need 2 people in the same order to, and by the way, we have discussed daily scrum a lot of time. So I'm pretty sure it will be easy for you. So yeah, I need someone to read the daily from ceremonies to attendees, and second person will read the tips and tricks. Go ahead.
I'll do it.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Daily Scrum purposes provide
By
the
the way,
Scrum.
daily scrum, it's also in bracket, daily stand-up. It's also
Daily
called as
Scrum.
stand-up.
Yeah, daily stand-up provides the Scrum team an opportunity to discuss progress, announce daily commitments, and identify impediments which should be cleared by the Scrum Master. And attendees are Scrum Master and production team, product owner, and outside stakeholders are optional. Tips and tricks too?
Yes, someone else can read it. If
I'll
nobody
read
is
that.
there, you can, yeah,
I
go ahead.
can.
Be sure the team can see each other. If you are remote, use a video conferencing tool. Don't let this meeting turn into a verbal status report. Encourage team members to get together after the daily scrum to discuss any items that require additional conversation. Do not let this meeting go longer than 15 minutes.
Perfect. I'll go in the reverse hierarchy. First of all, you have to understand it's a stand-up meeting. That means you're standing for this meeting, and it's absolutely followed. I have been following Agile for like many years now, and we never sit. We rather don't even go to a conference room. We generally stand in a huddle, close to your desk, and maybe product owner and scrum master would come from their desk and stand there and talk. Just ensure that there are no disturbances. So you stand for the meeting, and it should not be beyond 15 minutes, first thing, because anyways your legs are gonna started paining. Okay. Second thing, you are supposed to discuss 3 things in this meeting. First is, what are you currently working on? See, that's what is mentioned in beautiful English, as like you have to discuss the opportunity to know what is the progress, and then daily commitments, and identify impediments which should be cleared. So it simply means you have to discuss, you have to share what you're currently working on, what are you what did you work on yesterday, and that progress, and then what are you planning to work on today in the next 8-9 hours. And then in case if there are any issues, any hurdles, any impediments, any problems, you have to discuss that. And why you do this? Because if development team shares their status, the testing team knows that, okay, these are the things that will come into testing very soon. If testing team shares their status, development team knows, okay, that are this development has been approved, or this development has bugs, we have to fix it. BA knows what the entire team is working, and team understands what BA is preparing, any additional requirement or stuff like that. And if you have any doubts, like for example, per se, we have a development team of 5 people, out of which 2 are junior and 3 are senior. So if juniors are facing some issues and they highlight those issues, the seniors can very well say that, okay, let's connect after this meeting offline. We say we'll connect offline, and then you guide them to resolve them. So that helps, that saves the time. And it's also mentioned that every team member they are expected, but product owner and outside stakeholders, outside stakeholders means it can be a client, it can be a third party vendor from your taking software, it can be your managing directors, it can be your delivery managers, seniors. They are optional because it's a day-to-day activity. Product owner, once in a while they do drop in, and it's a nice thing when they do that, because they also get an understanding. So first thing first, 15 minutes meeting. Second, why we are doing it, what have you done, what are you going to work on, any issues, impediments mentioned. And then please be face to face. I even mentioned, though this is pre-COVID, they always encouraged team members to be physically at one place, because it's kind of little easier for them. But in current scenario, if you're not if you're connecting from remote location, still for these meetings, have your videos on. You get that feeling that you're together, or you're in you are in the meeting along with everyone. And then uh, after the meeting, you can definitely connect to continue about the further things. And then don't let this meeting turn into verbal status report. Simply means do not go overboard with super details which are not so essential. You know, some people have that habit of giving too many details or adding a lot of things, but no, this is not the forum. If you want to talk to somebody specific about something, then you have to connect with them later, but this is not the forum where you will talk about everything in super detail. Okay, this is a
Okay.
very simple event. You have to, or in Agile, it happens every day. It's like how you take a coffee break for relaxation. This is a decent, good break for understanding everybody's status. Okay. Now let me
Yeah.
move to sprint review and then sprint retrospective, and then we'll come to the questions. So yeah, a different set of people will read in the same fashion, please.
Yeah, I
Can
can
I?
read.
Yeah. Showcase the work completed over the course of the sprint. Gather feedback from stakeholders to inspect and adapt the product. So under attendees, the entire Scrum team plus certain managers, stakeholders, customers, and other developers.
Tips
Okay,
and
wait,
tricks.
let me take a halt. Let me take a halt and then we'll go to tips and tricks. See, remember sprint review? I think, you know, the day before me, Gaurav and James and some of you also had a lot of detailed discussion. So review basically means you see the word showcase. Showcase means
Mhm.
simply you're presenting this to your customer.
Hmm.
You're showcasing your work that has been done and you're getting their feedback. So the purpose is very important. So okay, towards the end of the sprint we have worked on these many activities and now we want to showcase that to you. We want to present that to you, and you know, and as a stakeholder, as a customer, you will inspect and check that, right? So you might say, oh, this functionality is very well done. Oh, this functionality we wanted this, so can we have that? So things like that, and yes, no, maybe, okay, things. And then attendees, see, entire scrum team also includes product owner, okay, and then they're again highlighting plus certain managers. So along with your team, if there are, like, see who will be the managers or things like that, people who are actively involved in your project, or there are sometimes there are some architects who are senior managers. They are kind of guiding you in the design or in the application, you know, development, and they might come in. Some other stakeholders, if there are some third party resources working for you, they can also come. And you know, if anybody who is remotely or who is actively involved in your project, and you know, they want to be a part of this scrum preview, they can join, or they rather join. So it's basically whosoever is helping you to develop and work on that application or that product, they are a part of it, along with the customers, because you're presenting to the customer. So you're ensuring that whatever you have done, you are able to very well showcase that and present that to them. Okay, so we'll go to tips and tricks. Yeah, somebody please read that.
Ensure that
Ensure,
any,
Go ahead.
ensure
ensure
that
that you can read it.
yeah. Ensure that any outside stakeholders know where they need to be when get the room prepped. The production team should not feel like they are defending their work. Prep to ensure they are able to shine. Another one, capture actionable feedback as items in the backlog.
Yeah, thank you for reading it out. Okay, now what they are saying is ensure that any outside stakeholders know where they need to be and when, and get the room prepped. So basically this is with respect to, as it is a review, as it is a presentation, you have to ensure that a proper conference room is booked. By the way, this is a task in big organizations, you know, organizations like Accenture or you know, big banks. They actually have a dedicated application or software to book the conference room, because there's so many meetings happening, so many foreign consultants and customers coming in, rooms are never available. And for such kind of review, imagine if you're calling in everybody, starting with your 8 to 10 team members along with customers team, we don't know how many, 4 or 5 to 10, and other stakeholders, you would need a bigger conference room. By the way, all this responsibility falls on the scrum master. Yesterday somebody was asking me what is the role of a scrum master, what is the activity they do. So the poor fellow or the poor girl does this also. They have to ensure which room is booked in advance. Like if the meeting is on Friday, they'll have to send an invite maybe by Tuesday, Thursday at the latest. And then they have to give that, okay, this is the conference room on this floor. Or also if some people are joining from remote, they have to create a Zoom or any Skype or a team meeting invite and share that as well. So all these things have to be managed by Scrum Master. And that's why if somebody from outside is coming, like, third party vendors, we're talking about anybody, maybe any senior management who sits in some other offices, they might not be sitting in your office. They should know where the meeting is happening and, which room is basically conference room. The product team should not feel like they're defending their work. So basically, it's not that you have to be very defensive. If there is something highlighted by the customer which is not done as per the mark, it's absolutely fine. Accept it. Go ahead. If there is something that you have done better, please highlight and showcase that. Yeah, we've achieved that. We've done a great job. Or when the customer would say that instead of you, you don't have to, highlight much. You just have to showcase it in such a way that they know that their goal has been achieved. And last but not the least, this is very important from BA point of view. In every meeting, you have to be ready with your pen and pencil and with your writing pad, with your notes, with your diary, that whatever feedback the customer is giving, please mention it down. And here the word is actionable feedback. That simply means that you are jotting it down, what all things that are needed to be taken up next. So though you have completed some functionality and then maybe in that due to lack of time or due to whatever understanding gap or anything, you missed on something which customer has highlighted, or they wanted to tweak something. It can be vice versa also. They want to change something and they have highlighted it, which is very much doable, won't cost much time, energy. Then you mention it down and you start working on it after the meeting. Makes sense? Everything aligning. I mean, these are so straightforward points, guys. Let me tell you, there's nothing rocket science, or there is nothing that is out of the box. So because these things are new, you might be able to feel, okay, there's something different. But then if you ask me, this is very practical if I have to go. Okay. So next ceremony is sprint retrospective. Same fashion, please, two people, especially the people who have not read yet. Okay, let's give chance to everyone. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Don't raise your hand. You can start reading, please. Aarti, go ahead.
Under ceremony, it is sprint retrospective. Purpose: allow the team to inspect itself and plan for improvements in the next sprint. Attendees: Scrum Master and the production team. Product owner is optional but recommended.
Perfect. So let me complete. So this is basically, we really discussed a lot. It's about your own understanding of your work. So retrospective means, how we say introspective, the same way retrospective. You have to understand, you have to think, you have to focus on what you did best and how you could improve. Allow the team to inspect itself. So as a team, they'll study themselves. Okay, yeah, we did a great job of completing the sprint goal. Kudos, awesome. Oh, or we could have done this better. We have to master this technology more so we can be faster, or we might need some additional developer. Anything and everything. If you do something good, please, you deserve a pat on your back. If you're struggling on something, you need help, highlight that. You need skills, work on that. So things like that. And then attendees, you see, it's optional for product owner, but it is recommended. Why? Because product owner, as a team member or as a senior in the team, is highly valued. Their feedback, their interactions are highly valued. So though we have entire development team, that is production team and Scrum Master, having product owner would be really like cherry on cake, and it will be very helpful. Okay. So what are the tips and tricks? Please go ahead. Any person?
Don't allow
Don't
allow people
to
don't allow people to point fingers and play the blame game. Create a safe space for people to provide their honest feedback.
Great.
Use games and different questions to mix things up and reduce monotony. Make sure any actionable suggestion is captured, assigned, and tracked.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So basically what they're saying is this is an introspection, and then this is not a blame game conference room wherein I would say, oh, because of per se Vrishali, I was not able to achieve that, or because of Peter, I couldn't do that. No, own it. And this is in real life also. Own your mistakes if you are done in anything. The way you own your winnings, same way own if there are some not so great events happening. Basically be very self-aware and practical and mature, and don't start pointing fingers to each other, okay? Because as we said, this is a very closely knit team. Everybody is together in this, and they are highly committed. So these things generally don't happen. But in case if somebody is new and somebody is not aware about how to go ahead, please ensure that there is no putting blame on others, or there is no chaos. Everything is, see, it's a safe space. That means people feel comfortable and they are honestly sharing their feedback. So this is very important, because if you don't do that, then how would you know, that how would you will improve? How would you improve if you don't get an honest feedback? Use games and different questions. Games, honestly, we never played games, because though it sounds fun, but we don't have that much time. And then these are some very intensive and good sessions wherein even just talking to team feels good, so you ask them questions, like maybe a development team might ask a tester that, okay, what are your testing methods, or what kind of test scenarios you are planning to add additional, so you can share with them, so we can work more thoroughly on the development, or we'll ensure there are no bugs, or the code doesn't break, or things like that. Okay, so it's all about the product specific. And last, again, that was as it was mentioned in the sprint review, all these meetings would definitely bring out or result in some actionable items on almost everybody in some of the cases. So as a BA, as a team member, you yourself also have to write what are the actionable items on you. Like for example, for a junior developer, it might be that they have to up their skill, they have to learn some new technology, or they have to interact with or take lessons from some senior architect, and learn about some certain things. Even for BA, it can be they have to update BRD, or they have to check something with the customer, anything, it can be any actionable item that can be assigned. So you have to mention it down. You have to ensure that track and captured, assign and track means, first of all, you have to jot it down. Second, you have to assign it to someone. If it is a development thing, then definitely development team. If it is a research thing, then maybe a BA or somebody else, anything. And then track it means it's not just that you write it and assign and forget it. You have to ensure that team is working on that. That is how you will achieve it, right? So that's also an important thing.
Prerna, let me know
These are
when,
the,
if I can resume.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt.
sure. I'll just complete this now. I'm just waiting for them to have their. We had a lot of doubts, so I just requested them that let me finish this events, and then we'll come to the doubt section.
Sure.
So here we have completed all the ceremonies, and here it's again a very, see, I love to have pictures, so we tried to have pictures as many places as possible. So Gaurav can start from here, but before that, anybody has any further doubts in ceremonies, please go ahead. I
Just
had
Prerna ma'am, not really a question. I just want to be sure on this. All of these ceremonies are still being facilitated by the BA, right?
But no. All the ceremonies are conducted and managed by Scrum Master. So BA is an active person along with Scrum Master, but the response I mentioned, right? Booking of the conference room, sending invites, even assuring there are pen and pencil and whiteboard available in that conference room. This is the responsibility of Scrum Master. So if somebody asks you who facilitates, who manages events, Scrum Master. Entire team can assist, but the ownership lies on the Scrum Master. Yeah.
So
Anything else?
meeting,
Yeah,
right?
if there is any change request comes in from the client, who is responsible to respond to that change request, the BA or the Scrum Master?
Entire team, not only BA, not only Scrum Master. See, first of all, when a change comes as a BA, you will jot it down. You will discuss that with your development team and Scrum Master. If it is a minor thing, if it is something that will not involve too much of time or budget, see, sometimes you have to develop something that would require to hire some additional softwares and things like that. Then you consult that with your product owner, and as product owner suggestion, if you could do that in this sprint, fine. If not, then we'll have to go back to the customer. So it's always a team effort. So you can have product owner also along with team to discuss with the customer, or product owner can just guide them and said, you can go ahead with the discussion, but these are my comments or my feedback. So as a development team along with Scrum Master, maybe depending on the complexity, if it is a smaller change, BA can discuss with the team and go back to the customer. But then if it's something very critical, very complex, very sensitive for customer, then as a team, some of the seniors along with Scrum Master or even product owner at times join and they discuss with the customer. So it's nothing is ever one-to-one. If anything new, any substantial changes there, it will always run through the entirety. Okay, because we have to know. How would you know if you don't consult development team, then how much time it would take? Okay.
Yeah. Discussion, I understand it, that we will discuss with the team, but formally who will respond, the BA or the Scrum Master? Like
Both
it
of them
needs this much
together.
of effort.
Generally, that's what I'm saying. If it is a complex thing, and if you are a junior BA, then definitely it won't go via you only. You would be accompanied by somebody senior if that's a physical meeting. If it is a video conferencing, then required team members will join. It's not generally given only to one person. It is a very simple thing, color change, okay. If it is a functionality, then yes, Scrum Master, senior members from development team along with the BA. BA would be there, but it's not only BA would be there. Get my point?
So Prerna,
Yeah,
BA
Hitesh?
mandatory in
Yeah.
all the meetings, or it's like is he
Yes.
optional?
Yes, if BA is not there, tell me who will jot down all the updates or use an actionable items. Though every team member would do, but as a minutes of the meeting, it's called MOM. BA has to be present. As I'm saying, see, why are we teaching this course? Because BA is an integral part of this entire process, right? Because as a BA, you know whatever functionality, whatever requirements the customers have given. So BA, yes, definitely.
Okay,
In all the meetings. Yeah. If we don't have anything, then I'll just hand over to Gaurav. Manisha, you have anything or you forgot to?
Yeah, I just want to ask, can you just go one slide back? I forgot to take a screenshot. Sorry.
No worries. You can take while rewatching also. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Gaurav, once you does that. Yeah.
One last question. Like for example, during the development process, if the technical team, I mean, when I say technical, if it's a developers, for example, if they come up with some idea, so like with respect to a particular requirement, so before taking it to the customers, there has to be an internal discussion.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. Yes.
So that won't
Because
happen
see,
in the Scrum call, or is it in a separate call?
if it is something too much of time taking, definitely a separate call, because Scrum call is for your usual activities and they can just highlight that I have something exciting or something new that we have come up with, and they can request everyone if they would like to join and then set up a separate meeting. See, things have to be very formalized. You cannot take space in that 15 minutes meeting if there is something important. Correct?
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. Now let me hand it over to Gaurav. Yeah, Gaurav.
Yeah, Prerna, I can share my screen, right?
Sure, you can.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So first of all, thank you so much for taking this up
No
on
worries.
rant.
Welcome.
So yeah. So hello everyone, and let me quickly touch base few things which have been just now discussed. So understand few meetings. I mean, there are multiple meetings. Few are known meetings. You are aware of retrospective reviews, daily stand-up, sprint planning, and whatnot. But there are still you need to discuss something like someone was telling just now, some idea emerged. So where to take? So all those things which are really not formal meetings, but yes, these require urge to have a discussion. Definitely you can walk and organize a meeting and just accommodate your time and can check the availability of time with the other peer, and you can come together and discuss the new idea or anything which requires towards the betterment of the project. That's number one. Number two is that what just now we were discussing is um, is about change requests. So understand two ways. So what I had experienced, like change request comes in two way. First, your project is ongoing, some changes are coming. Second, project is over and project is in support mode, and then after that change requests are coming. So when project is already ongoing, you have been taking money from client. Okay, and when you have been already taking money from client, what exactly happened, as Prerna also suggested that some small and minor changes is okay. If it doesn't take much time, we can accommodate that. So generally, how does it follow? If product owner has to give it a go, that okay, accommodate it. So first, product owner, when gives a go, of course, BA will come into the picture, guess the requirement, and let it follow in the discussion with developer and tester and get it done. So that happens in when project is already ongoing. What if when project is in support mode? Means what? Billing is not happening. Billing is coming after the maintenance, which is free, and support, which is free for certain timeline, which you might have quoted as a vendor to a customer. So billing is not happening, money is not coming. So in case some even a resource required to spend more than 3 hours or 4 hours, and there should be a billing involved. Okay, and for that it should follow the complete flow of the change request as well, and again it has to be approved and discussed with the in presence of BA by product owner, and then it follow all the budgeting, controlling, and scheduling system. So is it clear to all, whoever especially had asked the question? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually,
Okay.
I wanted to know this only. You answered
Okay.
it. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Awesome. Thank you. So now let's understand fifth is not mentioned everywhere. That is done. Done or cancel. So done goes in the sprint done chart to release. So we will look at this definition of done. What is exactly done? So done is not officially part of any ceremony, but still we have to take care of that. So done goes in the sprint done chart to release the product increment from product backlog list. How does it happen? We are going to have dedicated class on it. However, let's quickly move towards like Prerna loves drawing. Even I love picture. So here we are talking about scrum planning. So understand, anything will have three processes. Okay, it has to have input, it has to have output, and there will be in between some processing will happen. So this is how exactly happens in the sprint planning meeting or scrum planning meeting, where product backlog items are there. What is already you have delivered, that is well known. And velocity capacity of development team. Velocity capacity, what I'll be doing, I'll be sharing a small tiny video made by me, where right now I'm not taking much time towards the discussion of what is velocity, what is capacity. You just look at that my video, understand velocity and capacity is just about hours available with your resources in a nutshell. Okay, and also there's something which comes about the complexity. We are going to learn about that very soon. And when you are with this, complexity is nothing but what is the highest priority, what is the priority of a user story. User story, do you all understand, is requirement, piece of requirement. Everyone with me? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that
Yes.
has to be
Yes.
quoted, that how prior it is, how prioritized it is, how highly prioritized it is. So to that you give certain story point, because you are working on the user story. You will give a story point that measures the complexity of it. Okay, how complex a user story is. We are going to discuss even about that, but understand the process of the sprint planning. You will be discussing in the sprint planning on the available input. You are aware what has been already delivered, and then what is not delivered, that you are going to prioritize. Who all are going to do that, you are going to discuss. Okay, so say for example, there are 10 items which are available in the product backlog item, and we have 2 resources to work upon them, to our developer, to our tester, and to our business analyst. One is the senior business analyst, another one is supporting it. So in the sprint planning meeting, you will discuss, okay, so there are 10 remaining items, but we have 10 days of timeline, and in this 10 days we can only work on 2 items. Everyone with me understanding this? Yeah. And so there you are going to discuss, okay, so what we will do. So these 2 items, what we will, so these 2 items is decided, its complexity is discussed, and how we will do. Okay, so how part we will discuss, how BA is going to contribute, developer is going to contribute, or tester is going to contribute. Your sprint goal is decided at the end. These 2 has to get out from the increment. It has to be incremented towards the end of the sprint, and client has to go with that. And you are then, once it is done, you are ready to mark the once it is done, not immediately. So initially, if it is not done, it will be marked as to do. Do you agree with this? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and at the end, when at the end, just you are done with sprint review meeting, that is the time where you can mark it as a done. Okay. How to mark it done? Even we are going to look at it. Okay. So this is a quick sprint planning. Let's understand in a different design. Like, do you see everything is just like a square? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So when things are broken down into smaller pieces, things means the larger requirement, generally they take the shape of a small ticket. And what happens exactly? See here, we are talking about this requirement, we are referring to requirement, but eventually it has to appear somewhere in the tool, right? You cannot always have the bulky documents printed out in front of you and referring back to that and discuss, okay, this is the requirement, and expecting everyone else will have the similar printed requirement and referring back to that and discuss that. So that is not really feasible today. And considering the environment, we have shifted towards the tools, and in tools everything is jotted down. So even if you'll prepare, you are going to prepare a BRD document as a BA, that is a business requirement document, eventually it has to be translated into the smaller requirement in a tool. There it should be visible. You all with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah. So to name few tool, what those tool could be, like Jira.
Jira.
Yeah, Azure DevOps is there. Yeah, Asana is
Trello.
there. Trello is there. So multiple tools are there. You are well aware of that. So there also these may appear like, and here you are seeing that almost the size is of sticky note. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in case tomorrow you are using a physical Kanban dashboard, so literally you are going to use the sticky note. You are going to place that sticky note into the to-do list, or few sticky notes if it is already in progress, in the progress in column, and something is in testing phase, you will put into testing column, and something has been done already passed, so you will put it into the done column. So that requirement, imagine, can be written down in a sticky notes, how at granular level and how at minor level and slices and thinnest level it has been broken down. Are you able to understand this? A larger piece of requirement, how
It's broken down. Yes.
yeah,
Broken down into
how granularly it will be broken down. So and those broken down items together are called as a product backlog item, which are not yet part of the sprint. And the moment it is pulled back inside the sprint planning meeting, it starts getting called as sprint backlog. Yes, it is. And so now your sprint planning meeting is over. Okay. Now you get into execution mode. To that we call it as implementation as well. Okay. So you are into implementation mode. So if you are implementing daily, putting some hours daily, won't you discuss that, how it is going, how it is not going? Otherwise, if it not discussed, so things will only maximize when it will be measured. You are with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is also said that what is measured is maximized. Okay, so if something you are not able to measure, understand that you are not going to get any output of it. And to ensure that things are getting measured, you hold a daily stand-up meeting, to which we call it as a daily scrum meeting as well. That's what it has been explained in the earlier ceremony. So daily scrum meeting is happening for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and after sprint gets over, almost is getting over, you hold a review meeting that is a kind of a demonstration of what you have developed or tested and passed in front of customer, expecting customer to give it a go. Okay, and once customer give it a go, what do? You just ship it. Okay, mark them done, 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 done. Everything is marked as done, and you ask your DevOps team to, hey, this chunk of piece of software, could you please deploy it at customer location? With me so far? Customer location means in customer's environment. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good. And once it is done, again, you come back over here to sprint planning meeting. But remember, because the features are completed, immediately after this completed product is shipped, and before the new sprint is to start, you hold a retrospective meeting. With me so far, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So now understand what is sprint. Let me drill it down. So it is written here that it's a time box iteration of a development cycle. Means after a certain time limit, you are going to again work towards the development of some pieces of software. Okay, so and it is going to be iterate again and again, and it will be repeated as well. Okay, so new software, new pieces of software will be iterated towards the development, and that's the reason in every sprint it is called as it is a development cycle. So are you clear with time boxing, development cycle, iteration and repetition, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as it says that broken project into small and consistent time interval, of course, the broken project means the user story, the smaller requirement, and it has to be delivered again, same iteration and a repetition. Why? Because in the certain time limit we are delivering. Okay. So if it has been decided that one sprint is going to be of 1 week, it is going to be 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week until project is completely out towards the client. If it is decided it's going to be 2 weeks, it is going to be 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. It cannot happen today it is 2 weeks, tomorrow it is 3 weeks, to a day, in the next month it is going to be 3 weeks, and after that it is going to be again for 1 day. No. It has to be consistent. Do you all see here? Consistent.
Yes.
Okay. So as short as a few days, like earlier I said, 1 day even is the shortest, smallest sprint, and as long as 4 weeks, that is for a week. So 4 weeks when we call it, it means that 32 hours. How many?
32.
Sorry, my mistake. It's 40 hours. Okay, 5 working days. Okay. So excuse me, it's 5 working days. 1 day working hours means 8 hours.
8
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the reason it is called as a 40 working hours. All right. So it's clear. So 1 week is not going to be 7 days. 1 week is going to be how many days?
5
days.
5 days.
Exactly. Okay. So can call a sprint goal a project in itself due to start and finish record it gives. So do you remember last time we were talking and we were talking as if that even a user story can be the project. Okay, you remember we were discussing last time, and there I quoted that, okay, you can consider even a user story as a project, provided it has got a start time, finish time, and it is part of a sprint. So how it will show that in a fixed length, it is getting time box. Say for example, a project you receive, and that is of say for example 4 months. Okay, and your one project is of 4 sprint. Sorry, your 1 month, your one sprint is of 4 weeks. Okay, so you got a project of 4 weeks, 4 months, and your sprint is of 4 weeks. With me? Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is going to happen with that? So let's quickly understand. Okay. So here you see there are 4 sprints. So, and imagine one sprint is of 4 weeks. Second sprint is of 4 weeks. Third sprint is of 4 weeks. And sprint 4 is 4 weeks. So 4 months, 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks. 4 months you completed, and at the end of the 4 months, the entire project is ready to go out and might have been shipped by now, by then. Yeah. So, but understand, in every sprint, there will be start date, there will be an end date, and it has been already forecasted and shared that which sprint will start when, which sprint will end when, that will be shared with the client as well. And why it should be shared with the client? Can someone tell me?
To maintain
Uh,
clarity.
so, yeah.
Collaboration is
So
required.
client can
Transparent with the client.
know what they need.
Make
To-
him
Because there
make
is
the
a
client
regular
in the loop.
interaction with the customer.
Okay.
So client,
Feedback from client.
Okay, not
I-
only that, imagine if you are going to go for your vehicle servicing. Okay, do you generally go?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
And you are giving in the garage your vehicle, and you are giving. So will you ask that when can I expect it back?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay. So why you will ask? Because you need to take it back. You are going to use it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you will have the clarity, and you are expecting it already. And the vendor, that is garage, is already knowing that I am responsible and I am answerable if I don't meet the deadline. Yeah.
Yes.
And from
Yes.
there, the completion of communication will take place. All right. That's the very reason, because your customer is waiting for the software to be delivered. It has to be communicated, to which sometimes we also call it as a release date. What do we call it as?
Release date.
So there is much more things that to be shared. Let me quickly check that what else I can share that with you. So right now you have learned that why the fixed length and time box sprint is required to balance between the need to release rapidly, allowing enough time to complete a useful amount of work in each sprint. And that's why, if you don't have time, do you think you will be able to perform and deliver something you have promised to your customer? Of course not.
No.
Yeah, because you don't have the clarity and you don't have enough time to process or to perform and to deliver. So once an appropriate length is found, means sprint time box, the sprint is found, it typically says the same, that okay, you are able to work in the fixed length of the time and continue to deliver in the fixed length of time. You all are with me so far? Any question till now? Any question till now, everyone?
Gaurav, but we don't able to see the slide.
Okay, because I'm not sharing. So because I'm
Okay.
transitioning towards the new slide sharing. So just give me a second. Let me quickly. Yeah.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yeah, definitely. Who
Okay,
wants
this
to
is
ask?
Jyoti, and
Yeah, Jyoti.
I know this is, I don't know whether it's relevant or not. I don't know whether you know the term called UAT, I mean, user acceptance testing. So is the BA is going to be part of that, and the Scrum Master is going to be part of that testing?
Yeah. So wonderful question. We will discuss about that. So it's not only UAT. So there are multiple testing phases. Okay. So before UAT, it has to be SIT. Before SIT, it has to be literally into the component testing phase. Before component testing phase, it has to be in the development phase. Before development phase, even developer does, unit testing at their local. So there are multiple phases. So how it happens, when it happens, we are going to talk about that. Is that clear, Jyoti?
Yeah, and one last question. You mentioned that we already know about like how much is going to cost to the client or stakeholder.
Did I say that? Did I say that? We know about the costing?
No.
Okay. So BA does not have to do anything with the costing. Okay. Anything related to budget and costing has to do and be with product owner or project manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Clear?
you. Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome. So quickly, oh
Can
my God,
I-
so gong. So yes, so yeah, you can ask
Can
the
I
question
ask a
if
question?
yeah, you
So
can.
we have a plan of 4 months, which we
Mhm.
divided in a 4 sprint.
Mhm.
So every sprint, we will have a review meeting with the client.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
call it
definitely.
sprint review, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
after 4 months, when we give presentation to the client of all the 4 sprints, what do we call that?
Come again. What did you say at the end?
Like we have a four sprint for 4 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with each sprint, we will have a review meeting with the client, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once we are done with all the 4 sprints,
Mm-hmm.
when we are presenting to the customer what we have done in last 4 months, what do we call that meeting?
So who told you that at the end we are presenting everything together?
Presented
Are
at
we,
sprint.
Did you
are
read
we
it
not
somewhere?
going to present it? No. I haven't read it somewhere,
Okay.
but
So what exactly happens, just now I quoted something which I called it as a SIT. SIT. Just give me a second. Okay, so SIT. So SIT is nothing but a system integration testing where the entire system is integrated together. Okay, and first we have delivered something in a piece by piece manner, and there will be a time where customer will be working on a project as a whole. Okay, and then Jyoti was talking about UAT. UAT takes place where and just before UAT and on during UAT, business users work together. So business users from the client end and business users or say business analysts from vendors end. Okay, they come together, they work together, they shake it down so well that they make sure that this software is whether breaking or not, and if it is breaking, it requires to be fixed. Okay, so whatever you are discussing and asking about when we will present, actually it happens in the UAT itself. Okay, but before UAT, the entire system has been tested by your internal testing team, and BA has to keep an eye on that, and he has to be very much curious that how SIT is going, how SIT is performing. Okay, so there is not a separate demonstration of the entire system, but everything gets visible, and it appears when during the SIT when customers testers are giving the feedback. Okay, who was asking this question? Are you getting that? Yeah. Do you have still any question, Hiteshi?
No.
Okay, so Hiteshi was asking this question. So I have done what? I have quickly send you a link into the Zoom chat. You have to click on that, go and fill it. Some of you might have filled it already, but many of you would have not filled. You need to complete it now. It may hardly take 10 seconds, not more than that. And any other question, I would like to answer that.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, Srilata.
So, this is
Ask.
Ankita.
Okay,
So,
Ankita.
I was going through the SFC training. So there is a Scrum process which was discussed during the SFC training. So there's like a phase wise distribution of all of these.
Ankita, your voice is really low for me. I don't know why. Can you come a little closer to mic and repeat what you said
Sorry,
just
can
now?
you hear me better now?
Yeah, better now.
Okay. So I was talking about the SFC training material that I was going through. So there are different phases which were mentioned for the Scrum process. So initiation, plan and estimate, implementation, review, retrospect, and then release. Is this the same as the Scrum process flow that we are talking about during our sessions here? So like the product backlog item, then the sprint planning, sprint backlog item.
Yeah,
I just
so
wanted to ask, how are these different?
no. So it is not different. See what happens exactly, we ultimately follow a process and a cycle and phases. Okay, so sometime a few interviewer would be interested. Okay, can you name them? Okay, so it is called as inception, and it goes till the delivery.
Right.
Okay, these are normal
Right.
terms. So definitely we are going to talk about it. We are going to discuss about it as well. So and this
Okay.
is not really, you need to know what, you know, these 4 ceremonies, these 4 meetings. Okay, so these
Okay.
are vital things. So ultimately, to give the clarity, and when you are part of Guru schools, you are ultimately going to give your experience somewhere around 4 or 5 years, right? Because Guru schools will be backing you with projects, and it will be telling that
Okay.
Ankita has worked on this project. So with the 4 years and 5 years of experience, you are not even asked for any you are not even asked for any, what do you call, theoretical question. You will be
Okay.
asked some question which are scenario based, project based, and we will be preparing you for that. Okay, but it is a good question, good to know the phases. What is like in waterfall model, we have the various phases, what we have discussed,
Right.
how you will name it into the agile as well. So I'll be just letting you know, or what I'll do, I'll because considering the time, I may just simple answer you that it starts with the inception, ends with the delivery. There are more
Right.
3 phases, and you are going to anyway get it into the coming days, so don't worry about it. Okay,
Okay. Thanks.
you're welcome. So who else have another question? Raksha has
So,
raised her hand. Yeah.
So I want first question is like, who takes the final call on the estimates given by the team members? Like, for example, developers or testers. Like, if the sprint is of 2 week, how much
So
time they would need? So
no, ask again question.
so the
Estimate on what?
estimates on I mean the time required to complete a particular task.
Okay, so what do you think? Who should get the take the final call, Raksha? You think, and tell me.
Scrum Master.
No, Scrum Master is always a facilitator.
Product
Who is-
manager.
Product owner.
No,
That's
the
right.
development team.
No.
Product owner.
Product
See,
owner.
understand.
No,
Everyone
team.
will give their estimate. Should we go ahead and understand everyone's estimate? Should we consider everyone's estimate? Because
No.
one developer is giving 4 hours, another one is giving 6 hours. So will I be able to accommodate? Will they be able to accommodate? Will they be finalized, or they will go back with the confusion and more, more conflict, right? So who should be fixing that? What should be the final estimated hours? Who should? Product owner. That's right. And how they will fix that? For that, there are estimation techniques that we are going to learn as well. Okay.
So can I ask a question?
Thank you.
Please. Sometimes I can get
James,
confused about
please, could you raise the question, raise hand and ask the question? I'll be answering the question from Srilata. Srilata, your question, please. Raise virtual hand. Yeah. Yes,
Hi,
Srilata.
Gaurav.
Yeah.
Pardon me, my throat is little bit not clear. And
No problem.
actually, what my doubt is, if we, what I mean to say, for sprints, if we make it equal lengths, so sometimes do we get any situations like for some requirements we need to, we cannot split and we need to together. So
Sorry,
it will
I'm
be
not getting your question, Srilata. You'll have to ask it again.
okay, sorry. So for sprint, for sprint plan, for sprints will be making fixed length, you said, right? So to make it fixed, sometimes do we get any situations that we cannot split requirements and that will go like beyond length, or do we get any situations like that?
Such a wonderful question, Srilata. Thank you so much for asking this. So let me ask you, what do you think? It should happen or not? Will it happen or not eventually?
Sometimes
It
maybe
should.
based upon, yes.
Okay, think if it happens, what should we do in that situation?
Keep mixing together, I mean to say, like
See, when we call it fixed length, it has to be fixed length, right? There is,
Yes.
because it is part of Scrum process. Okay.
Yes.
But if
Yes.
something is overlapping, okay, because we are at the end and we are accommodating, trying to accommodate something which is of, 2 days, or say, for example, 3 days, and you can finish some task. You can just contribute to 1.5 day, and 1.5 day that you don't have in the bandwidth. What you would do in that case?
Yeah, definitely we'll split that work as well.
Exactly, we'll have to again split them. Okay, so it is the natural process that something will overlap, something will go beyond the time, and if something we are seeing is going beyond the time, we will really split them further into the next sprint. That's the obvious thing. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much, Srilata, for asking, answering, and doing it all your own.
Follow-up question from that, Srilata.
So okay, you want to add something? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if the requirement doesn't complete on that sprint, so we can move it to another sprint backlog, right?
Okay, what do you mean by requirement is not complete, and why
Like
requirement won't get completed?
Whatever we mentioned that this sprint backlog have these requirements which have to be completed in
Say,
this.
understand, in the project management, there is something what we call it as a buffer timing. Okay. So product owner makes sure that something, and it is always hidden, it is not communicated to you. Okay. So what happens, he or she makes sure that you have always some extra hour in your hand, so that you can't come back that something you have not completed. If you're going to promise something to complete in certain days, you are going to complete it, Srilata. You add one more resource, Yakshi, you add one more resource, get it completed. Somehow it is going to happen. Okay. So did I answer your question, Yakshi and Srilata?
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
But I want to, like, when I was working like priorly, I use sprint things, but if something is not completed, we can move it to another sprint backlog. We used to follow this. That's what I asked. That's
okay.
why
So this is not the right practice, that you keep on keeping the things half in plate. Generally, what happens, some defects. So what happens? There are some working items, some activity. If we're working on some defect, that becomes the action item, activity. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Srilata? So what happens? Certain things cannot be answered, and we don't have the bandwidth because we are almost towards the end of the sprint. In such cases, we defer it to the next sprint. It is possible that it is immediate requirement, then of course it obviously go into the next sprint. Otherwise, we will defer it until it comes back into the next desired or expected sprint. So it has to be discussed during it has to be discussed during the review or just after the review, in presence of Scrum Master. Scrum Master takes care of the these things, and he consult with product owner, and he parks those items into the next sprint. So although it is good question, but I would personally not advise you to follow this. Yeah, companies are following. Okay, that's the reality today. Okay, Yakshi, did you get that?
Yeah, but that's right. We have to discuss in that with the Scrum Master.
So generally avoid, but if can't avoid, you don't have choice, go ahead. Okay. Ultimately, you have to work in the company. What product owner has to say, you have to follow that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So James, you had some question you can ask now, and then we'll go to Varsha.
No, I said that I was thinking about the product owner and the business analyst. They both work on the same team. So I was trying to know who has a more say, or who has a better power to influence the team. But I realized it should be the business analyst.
So are you asking that, and why team has to be influenced? For what reason you think that team has to be influenced?
No, when I mean influence, sometimes you put the words together. You use a business analyst, you use product owner. So I was thinking those are some organizations deal directly with the product owner.
Okay, let me quickly tell you something so that you will understand it better. Product owner is a person who has to continue to take decision, okay, towards the delivery. Okay. things go and get delivered on time, in time towards the customer, and the promises and deadlines are met. Okay. And why? Because the company, because of product owners such responsibility, will continue to get more projects, and that eventually raise more money and more revenue. That's number one. Number two is that business analyst is something to whom has to emerge as a subject matter expert. He knows in and out. And some things which comes and are related to functionality, product owner might not be aware, okay, underlining might not be aware. So that time he approaches to business analyst, discuss with him, should we do in this manner or should we do in this manner? What should be the appropriate approach? Based on the discussion, some finalized decision requires to be agreed by customer as well, and it gets flown to the customer through product owner. But in case product owner is not able to convey it properly, business analyst himself or herself writes such details, copying product owner. So product owner has to be just like taking the responsibility of the entire product or project. Okay. Business analyst has to be functional knowledge or vice person when it comes to project. Inside out, all the functionality is known to him or her. Is it clear? More clear to you, James?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Let's move to Varsha. Varsha, what is your quick question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So what if for some reason a sprint is a failure? I mean, it could be anything. Maybe customer doesn't approve at the end, or some severe technical issues or anything. What if it's a failure, and how often does it happen, and how is it handled?
Wow, that's a good question. And yeah, it happens sometime, but generally does not happen. Okay. Why do you think that generally does not happen? When you talk about the complete failure, there are two types of failure. Okay. One type of failure is that when your customer is sitting in the review, PC did not even start. Okay. Where you have to present. That is a failure, right? So it can be immediately addressable or not.
Yeah, that can be addressed actually.
Addressable. Second kind of a failure, customer has approved. Okay. But now it has gone to customer, and customer sees that, say, for example, website is not opening at all. Okay. So it has worked already at a vendor's location, but has not worked at customer's location. What do you think maximum turnaround time would be for this?
It depends upon how severe the technical issue is.
Yeah, so sometime it may take 24 hours. Okay, things are still working at our location. There are some technical glitches. It won't take a month or the entire sprint to address that. It never happens. Why it never happens? Because in your team, testing team is available. If something is breaking, this team is informing you about all such failures well beforehand, before the sprint gets over. But generally, in some circumstances, what happens, things gets broken technically. It does not work the way it should work, and such things happens because of some migration issue. Migration, for example, you are shifting from one environment to another environment. You are deploying the software from one environment to another environment. There are some small glitches, technical glitches, and that their product owner has to be on toes. So functional break won't happen, technical breaks happen. Okay. Functional breaks are taken care well in advance. Any other question, guys?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. If not, so thank you so much for your time and, staying till late and again asking question, getting it clarified. I wish you to meet again on Sunday. But before we meet on Sunday, I expect your summaries for all these last 3 days, what we have learned so far. And we are going to learn more richer, more in detail in upcoming days. And also, I want you to go back to WhatsApp group and write your today's insight. What do you feel like saying? One word or one statement. Will appreciate that. I'm going to review personally all of yours comment. Okay. Thank you so much for staying up till now, and Bye-bye. Good night. Thank you so much. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Good
ma'am.
night. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye, guys. Bye.